Hey, this is Richard, this is Games Freezer. Today, my friends, we're over on the PC. We're playing Murder is Game Over, the Blackinton Curse, on this 10-minute taster where I take a game I've never played before, start playing it and give you some first initial thoughts. So we're going to jump straight into a new game now, and we are going to see where we go. Press enter or spacebar to advance the game text. You can also use the mouse cursor to point and click. I'm actually using a control pad, so that'll be interesting. Introduction. Small town in the Berkshires, an isolated mountainous region of rural western Massachusetts, with a rich history of art and culture. Present day. Simon. Alright, now we're all here. I'm going to close my eyes and start counting to 100 soon. Cody. Why do we always have to start our game of hide and seek in the cemetery? It's spooky. Good point, Cody. Simon. Yeah, that's the whole point. Drew. Hey, what are all those people doing here? This place is usually quiet. Cody. There must be a funeral going on. Simon. Didn't you hear? Old Mrs. Blackinton passed away last week. Who? You know, the creepy old lady who played the organ in the church. Creepy old Mrs. Blackinton. Why'd you say she's creepy? Well, the rumour is that 30 years ago, after her husband died, old Mrs. Blackinton went batty. She sent her older son, Trevor, away to a fancy boarding school. She kept her younger son, Cade, trapped at home on the property until the day he turned 18. Is that true? Why would somebody treat their kids like that? It's simple. She knew she would fall victim to the family curse, just like Saul and all the other Blackintons. If your last name is Blackinton, your family's got to have a curse on it. Shame on you, Simon. That's nonsense. I used to talk to Mrs. Blackinton in church all the time. She was a perfectly sweet old lady. Hey, it looks like the funeral is about to start. We should keep our voices down so they don't hear us. Father Francis. Dearly beloved, we are here today to mourn the loss of Meredith Blackinton, a pious member of our small community. Most of you will remember Meredith Blackinton as our church organist. She remained modest even as her renowned music became exposed to the masses in popular video games all over the world. But she was also a loving and devoted mother to her 2 sons. The elder, Trevor, who went on to become a technical director with Hackdivision Publishing. He doesn't even need the Blackinton Trust with an important job like that. And the younger Cade, a talented actor, making his way through the trenches of Hollywood. Yellow. Trevor, have you had time to think over my financial offer yet? Who is this? Tony Carson, the wind farm builder. We spoke earlier. You got a lot of nerve calling me like this. My mother's body isn't even in the ground yet. Excuse me, Trevor. I thought it would be best we could talk as soon as possible. Don't call me again, and leave my brother alone too. Trevor? Who called? Never mind. Excuse me, everyone. Father Francis, please continue with the ceremony. Look, on top of the cliff. No, it can't be. Trevor and Cade Blackinton, as my last remaining descendants, you both will soon perish here on my estate. Then the family's curse shall finally be lifted. He vanished. He must have disappeared into the woods. What did I tell you guys? Did you take a good look at that ghost? It didn't look like Saul Blackinton's ghost to me. It's just some guy in a mask trying to scare people. In a way, that's even scarier. Strong opening. The investigation. Late afternoon the next day. Detective Dudley. Welcome, Detective Guy. Nice of you to finally show up. You and your dog Cleo are late. This place was hard to find. It's out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a road detour because of the flood. Did you get my phone call, sir? Never mind. Very well then. In your absence, I've gone ahead and solved the case entirely myself. There's nothing else to be done. Huh? You solved the case already? Are you sure, Detective Dudley? Yes, of course. There's no doubt about it. We've captured the culprit and we're just about to take the guilty party down to the station. I hope Detective Dudley knows what he's doing. You can't be the hero all the time, you know. Anyway, I'm ready to close the book on this one as double homicide. What? Did you just say double homicide? As in there are 2 murder victims? 2 murders? Since you came all the way out here, the least I can do is explain to you exactly how it happened. What would you like to know first? The case. I've got everything under control. Who am I? You? You're building quite the reputation, Detective Guy, even showing me up on at least one occasion. But it's Cleo, your clue-sniffing dog, who is the real talent, I'd say. You're just the Dr. Watson to her Sherlock Holmes. Where are we? You've arrived, albeit an hour late, here in West Adams, Massachusetts. West Adams is a small Rust Belt city nestled in the Berkshire Hills near the New York border. This town used to be a real industrial hub in the 19th century, thanks to the exploits of the Blackinton mine. We're standing on the Blackinton family's estate ground, home of the heirs to the industrial Saul Blackinton's family fortune. Yesterday there was a funeral nearby that drew out people who knew the Blackintons. Meredith Blackinton's funeral. Right. Who is the victim? Good question. You'll find the body of Trevor Blackinton not far from here. He was murdered. First Meredith Blackinton and now her elder son. Meredith Blackinton raised the Blackinton boys here with the remains of the family fortune and then found her own success as a prolific organist and music composer later in life. The elder son, Trevor Blackinton, was a well-to-do video game programmer who lived in New York City. Of course, programmers are well-to-do. Cause of death. I found the murder weapon not far from Trevor Blackinton's body. It looks like an antique wooden cane. The murderer must have bludgeoned him to death with it. Did you find fingerprints? Nope. The rain we had earlier must have washed away any prints. As for Meredith Blackinton's death, we still haven't had time to search inside the mansion where her body was found yet. No one suspected foul play until... Anyway, we've got the killer on the hook for Trevor Blackinton's murder. I haven't had time to speak to the coroner yet. You'll find her just outside the entrance to the Blackinton mansion up the hill. Your theory? It's simple. Detective Cade Blackinton, the younger son... Sorry, it's simple. Detective Cade Blackinton, the younger son, killed his mother and then did away with his older brother. Next, Cade Blackinton even openly admits that the cane near the body is his possession. His career as an actor has struggled, and this way he stands to inherit the Blackinton family fortune. Cade was apprehended near the crime scene a few hours after his brother's death. Officer Bailey is with Cade Blackinton as we speak. The younger Blackinton's been cooperative. I'll give him that. I suppose you're welcome to chat with him yourself if you wish. Right, we continue. Alright. I want to close this case quickly before the press shows up. As I told you, you can go home now if you excuse me. There is one last thing that's got me quite puzzled though. What's that, Detective Dudley? We've already gotten multiple reports from local people insisting that some kind of ghost appeared at the funeral yesterday. I don't believe it. I don't believe it! Go ahead and take a walk around the estate grounds. If you find anything that disputes my findings, then you can bring it to my attention here. Oh? Come on, Cleo. Let's take a look around and see what we can discover with this case. Right, off we go. I'm using control pad. Where am I going? I'm going to go into these bushes. I don't know what my dog does, or if my dog sort of runs away and tries to draw my attention to things I might miss, so we'll have a look. I won't go and talk to the coroner yet. I'm just going to have a little look around. Anything round here? No. Like this little patch of grass, no? Oh, I can be the dog. I can switch between the dog. Okay, so wire gets me into this kind of inventory. Cleo, dog, hint, map. Blackinton Mansion, Hobomux Hill, Hoosek River Park, okay, State Grounds. How do I get, oh, continue, right. So how does I switch? X. So let's have a chat to the coroner. I'm so glad you and Cleo made it. Detective Dudley is ready to close the books, but I'm not so sure. Where's the body? You'll find Trevor Blackinton's body to the east of the mansion. Cause of death? Trevor Blackinton was impaled by something sharp, a knife, a sword, some other kind of weapon capable of piercing the flesh. Have you found anything on the estate grounds that might be a murder weapon? Murder weapon, that's what we're looking for. Time of death? Trevor Blackinton was killed yesterday in the evening. It's almost sunset now. Right, okay, your theory. Trevor Blackinton was undeniably murdered. This definitely wasn't self-inflicted, an accident or some wild animal attack. Last week, Meredith Blackinton also died of heart failure. I'm afraid there's nothing more we can learn from exhuming her body after this much time has passed. Really? Detective Dudley is about to make an arrest. I'm not convinced that his conclusions are correct, but it's up to you and Cleo to find the evidence to prove it. Nothing more. And we're off. Oh look, there's Trev. You right there, Trev? Examine. It's the body of the murder victim, Trevor Blackinton. I love this pixel art, it's very nice. Why was he out on the estate grounds last night? What was he doing here? Who was he with? I don't see any signs of a struggle. He wasn't running away to escape. That means Trevor knew his killer. Looks like we've got ourselves another murder to solve, Cleo. So if I do a switch to... Hang on. If I do a switch to Cleo... Examine. It's the body of murder victim Trevor Blackinton. Okay, right. So it's a rewind of what we've already seen. Okay. Oh, look! Cleo. Found a clue. Yes, Cleo. This looks like some kind of antique walking stick. What's this doing here? The wood is polished. It's heavier than it looks. The coroner said that the victim was impaled by something sharp, not bludgeoned to death. Oh? That means this antique cane isn't the murder weapon. Then why is it here? The clue is saved to your case file. Cleo deserves a treat. Okay, so if I go into my case file... I've got suspects and clues. Antique cane and Trevor's body. Right, so it compiles everything in there. So hint. Cleo, we need to keep searching for more clues on the estate ground or Detective Dudley isn't going to hear any of it. Let's look for a shape on the ground that looks off colour or otherwise unusual. Okay. Let's do that. Shape on the ground. Simpson, eh? Hard to know where to go. East Blackinton Mine. Right, let's go there. No trespassing. Right, let's do it. This path looks like it leads into the forest. Detective Dudley won't appreciate it if we just wander off before we finish exploring the estate grounds, Cleo. Okay. What's this? So that's map. Oh, my one. Is that where I am? Don't know. Not sure. Options. Okay. Right. Let's have a little look around. Look, there's like a little hole there, whatever that is. So I need something in the ground that doesn't look right. That's Detective Dudley. That's Cade. Let's talk to Cade. You must be that special detective with the dog that they brought in. I'm sure I'm glad you're here. I've played a criminal in a video game before, but I never expected to be treated like one. So suspect added to case file. Cade Blackinton, younger Blackinton brother. Your identity, I already know. The victim. Your alibi. After seeing that thing at the funeral yesterday, I was a wreck with anxiety. I saw a bottle of my mother's sleeping medication. I finished what little was left of the bottle to help me relax. Shut my eyes and drifted off to sleep. Then the cops woke me up and questioned me about Trevor's death. Yes, the cane is a family heirloom that was left to me, but I'm certainly no killer. I love my family. I was still in Los Angeles for an audition when I heard about Mum's heart attack. I just wish there was a way I could prove it. The ghost? The cops won't believe me. It sounds ridiculous. At the funeral, on the cliff top, in the back of the cemetery, the ghost of our great-grandfather Sol Blackinton appeared and issued a warning. The figure told my brother and I that we'd be the next to die from the family curse, just like what happened to Mum. If you can find someone else who was at my mum's funeral, they may be able to tell you more. Detective Dudley won't listen, but I'm hoping you can look into it. Suspicions? I don't think the ghost we saw was real. To me it looked like somebody in a mask. If the police can find whoever it was that tried to scare us, then you might get your answer. Curse or no curse, my brother and my mum are now dead. Supposedly I'm next. I know the people won't let me fly back to Los Angeles for the production until this is resolved. I can't say that I'd mind being in custody as long as the police could protect me from supernatural ghosts or from masked human killers. Should we ask him his identity just to get through that bit? Yes, I'm Cade Blackinton, sir. My mum and my big brother are now dead. Do the police really think I'm mixed up in this? They're saying I killed both of them, but there's no way I could have done it. You've got to help me. How do I convince that other detective that this isn't what it looks like? the victim. You could say I'm estranged, I guess. I hadn't seen either of my mum or my elder brother in many years, not until the funeral. Anyway, I grew up here, spent my whole childhood on the estate. After my dad died here when I was a boy, Mum got protective. She sent Trevor away to boarding school and kept a close watch on me. I can't say my childhood was an easy one. Even with the money we had, I wasn't an easy kid to raise. Nothing's come easy for me. Trevor had the brains of the family and his computer engineering genius. I'm just a humble actor who plays an occasional bit part. Do you know what? I'm going to call a halt to the 10-minute taster right about there. But hopefully you've enjoyed the 10-minute taster. Please like and subscribe, and that helps us get new video games for you to take a look at. Also head over to Twitter and Instagram. That's @GamesFreezer. We're also over on TikTok, The Games Freezer. We're over on www.gamesfreezer.co.uk, which is where we put everything we do. Until next time, my friends, you'll be leaving me trying to solve this murder case. Goodbye, my friends.